Hey, how's it going? This is Slade Hart with Slade's Guitar School, and again, what we do at Slade's Guitar School is we train people to play guitar by ear. So this is the second video in the three-video series that I promised you, and today, like I said in the first video, we're going to be talking about rhythm and how you can take some very simple exercises and use that to develop your rhythmic sense. So I hope the previous exercise about singing and singing wherever you are and singing whatever you play really helped you. I think singing is great for your well-being, it's great for your musicality, puts you in a good mood. It's just a fantastic thing to do, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got some good results from it too. I would encourage you to keep doing that from now until you decide you don't want to do music anymore, so hopefully for the rest of your life. Again, what we're trying to do here is teach you to play by ear and give you some very basic things that you can master, very basic concepts that you can master that will help lead you along that path, all right? I'm not promising you that you'll be able to figure out a four-part fugue by Bach on the guitar just by listening. But what I am promising you is that if you start to do these exercises and practice them religiously, 5, 10, 15 minutes a day, that you will notice improvements in your ear and your ability to play by ear, which eventually will lead to improvising very well, to learning songs on your own, and to writing your own music and getting your music out of your own music out of your head. So I want to take an opportunity here to dispel a couple of myths that have to do specifically with music in general and learning music and musicality and musical talent. The first one I hear is, I hear a lot of people say that they think they're tone deaf. And they think they're tone deaf because, you know, they don't sing on key, they can't tune their instrument well, they just have general problems learning music, or they think they do. And what I can say to that is that tone deafness, first of all, is extremely rare. I think probably less than 2%, maybe even less than 1% of the population has tone deafness. And the odds that you know someone with tone deafness, again, are very small as a consequence of that. I'm not sure I've met anyone who's tone deaf, but maybe you have, and maybe you can tell me a story about it or something like that. But I would sincerely doubt that if you want to learn to play music and that you're interested in music and that you love music and you're passionate about music, I would doubt that you have tone deafness. Tone deaf people generally aren't interested in music because they don't have a capacity really to appreciate music. So if you're here, you love music, you want to learn guitar, you want to get better, my hunch, and I can say this almost with 100% certainty, is that you don't have tone deafness and that you don't need to worry about it. Therefore, you just need to worry on kind of developing your ear and learning to listen and kind of perking up and becoming more aware of the music and the general sounds around you. And I think that's something that anybody can do. Another myth we hear a lot is that people think they have to have a certain gene to be musical. And that may be true, it may not be true. I cannot say for sure. I do know that Mozart had a son, and I'm not even sure he became a musician. So if genetics play a role, I think they play a limited role. I know for a fact that genes can be turned on and turned off based on our lifestyle, based on what we eat, based on whether we exercise, based on whether we stress or whether we can handle stress, based on the thoughts that go through our heads. So genetics is very complicated, and to say, for example, that you're missing a specific gene and therefore you can't learn music, I don't think is quite true. I think, for example, that maybe you're missing a specific gene that would allow you to do something extraordinary in music, but if you enjoy music and you appreciate music, I think you have enough inside of you that you can start to develop that skill. And I can guarantee you that musical talent, even talent, with people like Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, Miles Davis, is something that you have to really earn. You have to work really hard to develop it. It's not something necessarily that can come 100% naturally. So whether you have a gift or not, you can develop whatever ability you do have, and you can get better and probably surprise yourself over time if you're persistent and you practice effectively and consistently, which I think is far more important than genetics. The last one has to do with rhythm, and that's, of course, perfectly appropriate because we're talking about rhythm in this video. Lots of people think, like genetics, that they have to be born with a rhythmic gene, or that rhythm is something you kind of get naturally or you don't. I don't agree with that at all. I think that, for example, human beings are full of rhythm, irrespective of race, color, creed, sex, any of that, musical background. It doesn't matter. If you go about your day, you look at people, they walk in a specific rhythm, we breathe in a specific rhythm, we talk in a specific rhythm. You know, even your heart, if your heart stopped beating in the rhythm it beats in, if you get a heart arrhythmia, for example, you have to go to the hospital, you have to take medication. It's a very serious condition, so you can't live without rhythm. So you're made up of rhythms in your cells, in your body, in the way you interact with people around you. So rhythm is something that you have, it's a part of you, it's a birthright as a human being. And so if you're watching this and you're alive and you're well and everything's going great for you, then you definitely have rhythm. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about developing it. I mean, you have to worry about developing it, but you don't have to worry about being born with it. You were born with it. And that's something I can say with 100% certainty. All right, so I want to go ahead and talk real quick before we jump into the exercise about the number one challenge that we're faced with, not just as guitarists, but as musicians in general, all right? The biggest challenge, I think, and I've talked to a lot of people and they seem to agree too, is that it's difficult to get yourself to really sit down and get in a state where you can focus on the music, really listen, and listen closely and listen deliberately to, you know, whatever it is you happen to be listening to, all right? A lot of us, you know, we think we have ADD, so we have thoughts running through our brains, we're busy, we're stressed at work, stressed at home, and we don't ever really focus or take the time to focus on the music that we either want to learn or that we want to enjoy. So I would say the biggest challenge is learning how to get yourself in a state where you could really listen. It's the most important skill any musician can gain, and it's something that's just absolutely vitally important. So if you can overcome that challenge and you can get yourself in a state where you can clear your head, you know, you could regulate your breathing, get your stress under control, forget about the distractions of your day, and focus on the music that you're listening to, you will start to really improve and notice things in music that you had never noticed before, but were always there. So I think, again, the biggest challenge we face as musicians, as guitarists, is learning how to listen and getting ourselves disciplined around listening. Just opening our ears and letting the music in, absorbing it, appreciating it, and ultimately learning it. Okay, so enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump into the exercise. I want to make sure that we get this. This is a fun exercise, and again, it's just like the singing. If you spend 5 or 10 minutes a day on it, you are going to be golden, and you're going to notice some results very quickly. What it's going to involve is basically quite simple. We're going to be counting out 4 beats. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. It's quite simple. It's a 4/4 time signature, and it's probably the most basic one that there is. All right. So what we're going to do with this 4/4 time, these 4 beats, is that we're going to deliberately choose a beat to clap on and then count and clap on that beat. So let me give you an example, and you should feel free to follow along. I'm going to count out 4 beats, and I'm going to clap on the first beat and only the first beat. So it goes something like this, and again, feel free to follow along or take notes, and you can do this later. All right, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really simple, straightforward, easy. Anybody can do it. Let's add a little bit more to it. Let's clap on the first beat and the third beat. All right. So it goes something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Really straightforward, really easy. Nothing to it. You can do it easily. Okay. Now let's make it a little more interesting. All right. Let's clap on the first beat. Well, let's do it like this. Let's clap on the second beat and let's clap on the fourth beat. All right. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can clap on the first beat and the fourth beat, which goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Really simple, really basic. Now let's clap on just the third beat. All right, what's that sound like? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. The point of this exercise here is that I want you to pick out as many patterns in that 4-beat space that you have that you possibly can. And there will be a limited number, and you can probably find all of them in a day or two of looking, for 5 or 10 minutes. It's quite simple, but what this focuses you to do is that you have to pay attention to every beat, because you deliberately specify a beat that you're going to clap on, and you got to make sure that you clap on that beat. So if I say I'm going to clap on the first beat and the fourth beat, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, it's like, you missed a beat, you got to go back and correct the problem. But what you have to do there is you have to deliberately pay attention to every beat. And that's something we don't do with rhythm a lot. A lot of times we get very lazy with rhythm, and we drop beats, we miss beats, and we get, it really messes up the music. I think rhythm may be the most fundamental component of music. Maybe rhythm and pitch are kind of equals there. But it was probably the first component of music that was ever developed by humans. And it's also one, I think, that can get incredibly complex and incredibly beautiful all on its own. And so this is just a basic exercise to kind of get you into the idea of paying attention to rhythms and deliberately changing rhythms and paying attention to how you change them and making sure that you're really focused the whole time on the beat. So we got 4 simple beats. Music can be divided into all different number of beats, and you can emphasize, any one of those beats that you choose. And believe me, it can get extremely complex as you get further and further into music. So the point of this exercise is to kind of get your ear up, to wake up, and to pay attention that you've got this rhythmic component to music, and it's something that you can develop and just develop a sensitivity to, which is what we're trying to do. All right. So again, we count out 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we pick 1, 2, 3, or even 4 beats. We want to clap on all 4, but we pick different patterns of beats that we're going to clap on, and we just go through those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times until we're satisfied we've got the pattern down, and then we pick out a new pattern, and we just go through it. If we spend 5 or 10 minutes a day doing this on top of the singing, we're going to start noticing that we pay more attention to the rhythms around us. And I believe that what you're going to notice ultimately is that you have rhythm inside of you, you have rhythm surrounding you, there is rhythm everywhere, and you have full access to it if you're willing to pay attention and focus and get your mind squared that you want to develop rhythm and become more familiar with rhythms. So practice this very simple exercise, 5-10 minutes a day. Keep singing. And in the next video, we're going to take it a little further. It's going to be a little more challenging than these previous two exercises. But basically what we're going to do is I'm going to give you an exercise that's going to open your ear up probably more than it's ever been opened before in your life. All right? It's a simple exercise. I fully believe that you can master it after even one day of practicing it. But if you consistently practice it along with the singing and the rhythm, your ear is really going to mature and open up, and then you're going to get hungry to learn more music and to train your ear even further. And that's the road that we want to set you on, because then you're definitely going to learn how to play by ear, because it's going to be something that you really desire to do. So I hope this was a very helpful exercise. I hope you can find time to practice it. And again, the next video will be in your inbox in 2 or 3 days. And so I will see you then. Remember to practice and just enjoy and appreciate music. And I look forward to seeing you. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.